In Predator 2, there was an extensive amount of weaponry, which I believe Stephen Hopkins brought to the mix. I think some of it was scripted, but Stephen had a lot of ideas about the weaponry and what that was going to be.
We invented a lot more weapons for different sequences, things that we thought were used generally in hunting. They did a lot of research on hunters, so you had the sense of there was a real belief in what his costume stood for. It was a one-man arsenal.
On the Predator, his gauntlet knives, because that's where it came out of. We had that again in Predator 2, and I think that was always a really unique, fun weapon. We spent a lot of time, though, working on the gauntlets that he wore, that knife would come out of. The first Predator, we had even less time to create everything that we did. In the second Predator, at least we knew going in, we learned from what the first one was, and the gauntlets were separate in that, and so they were either hard or rubber pieces that we put in a lot of effort. I think visually they looked great in the first movie, but functionally they were a little tough to deal with because they were foam rubber onto the suit. So this time they were separate, and that also helped when the knives would come in and out of there because the mechanisms would be built in more of a hard piece. In the first movie, he's got his little self-destruct mechanism or his communicator. It's all in one. Souped up Dick Tracy watch there. In both movies, Predator 1 and 2 were very detailed with, especially at the time, it was coming up with LEDs and LCD stuff and pretty intricate little wiring pattern that would make these Predator symbols and cool stuff. We redesigned the look of that laser cannon just to give this guy a different personality. I had helped do some of the original sketches on that, and I had different samurai armor in front of me that I was looking at. So the breech cloud area and the look of it was a little samurai influence. That was all radio controlled, so that thing could track and could follow and hit marks. Hopefully it always hit its marks on camera, where it needed to go. We actually had lasers inside of his helmet. There's like 3 lasers that were in there that in the right set environment, it's a spooky, smoky, kind of foggy looking thing. Those lasers are actually real in some of those shots. In Predator 2, they came up with this idea for the net gun, which he had stored down here. We pull it up and it would shoot it out. And that was a tricky effect to pull off. And that was a bit of a cheat because there was really no way to get that net to accurately fire. So we did it in a few different cuts where we could get the net flying through the air and then pull down onto that actor that gets trapped by it in a separate cut. That was a tricky effect in that we had a dummy that we recreated of the one actor that could pull that net down into his skin, and you'd start to see the blood coming up.
Then they hired me on the film. They told me there wasn't no mosquitoes around, man. I told you I cannot stand mosquitoes.
Okay, this is the Predator's smart weapon, as it's called, which is basically like a double-edged axe blade / frisbee. And the way it activates is Kevin Peter Hall, who's a Predator, holds it like this. And then my hand's not big enough to actually engage it, but we can just cheat it. And it snaps open, and he flings it like a discus. And it tracks and actually follows Danny Glover.
This section will come out and turn into the into the frisbee.
It's like a heat seeking in a way, because it would always get to its target. We built working ones that would light up and would take good close-ups, because they had nice sharp edges on them, and it was fun.
There's razor blades on the end.
Surgical blades. These are surgical scalpel blades. Much sharper than X-Acto.
Richard's very crazy.
Keep it in your hand. That's the safest place. Don't let go of it or try to get rid of it.
Again, no one should be over here, Gary, right? Because he lets go of it. Yeah.
Pretty tight on here, but then just put it even tighter, just like...
Got it.
Just give that last little head bang at Twinkle Brains. And he's really tight and he's looking down. Look down, like then the camera will kind of come down to your hand here.
Okay,
and
so
then cut yourself out. As you cut yourself out, like fall forward.
Okay. I did exactly what you told me not to do.
This is a Predator's telescoping spear, and it starts out this size here, and then both ends expand out until it gets to be this large here, so that he can basically store it on his belt and then pull it out, and it'll expand, and then it's ready for action. We had to use cuts to go from about 3 foot, and it had to grow to close to 7 feet, or darn near that. So we had a couple of different ones that could grow to a certain level, and then you'd cut to the next one that could take it even further.
How many times do I have to tell you? You don't know what you're dealing with. Remarkable weaponry.